Today we're going to show you how to filter objects for AvePoint Cloud Backup for Office 365 via the Scan Profile Dynamic Object Registration rules. First thing I'm going to do is click into the Scan Profiles section in AvePoint Online Services. Then I'm going to select to create a scan profile. The next thing I'll do is make sure I'm choosing the Advanced mode, which will allow me to create filters for different areas. To start, let's say I want to scan mailboxes for licensed users that have an E3. So here I'm going to create a container that I'll be able to pick and choose from the Cloud Backup GUI for E3 users. Then I'm going to create a rule that will allow that filter to take place. The filters are a filter in and will allow you to combine criteria. So when I choose Office 365 subscription name, here I can say equals because we're using this from a dropdown. I'm going to say Office 365 Enterprise E3 license for this. And when I save that, I will have created a rule for this container that will filter users that have E3 licenses into this container. Now, I could combine that criteria, for instance, for different properties or departments, maybe locations by city, for instance. I can use and or logic to combine these. So let's say I want to only choose E3 users in Richmond, Virginia. Then I'll type city contains Richmond. I can add that to my container to be nice and clear. When I save that, I now have a rule displaying for E3 users in Richmond, Virginia. Now I can do the same thing for SharePoint. Let's say there's some specific SharePoint site that I want to add. I'll add a container saying accounting SharePoint site, for instance. And then under the rule name, I can say accounting site. And then for the filter, I can either use a property, the name, or the URL for the site. Today I'm going to use the URL and say if the URL contains accounting, then I'm going to add it to the accounting SharePoint site. And let's say sites, because we may have more than one site that matches that criteria. So when I click Save, I've now created a filter for that, and again, this container will show up in Cloud Backup. So any SharePoint site that has the word accounting in the URL will now be part of this container. Now for the registration, I can add multiple containers. If I want the accounting sites to go into the accounting container, I could also say for the marketing sites, for instance, to go into the marketing container. When I save that, I now have two containers. One for marketing sites and one for accounting sites. It's important to understand that you have different options for the different kinds of containers that you are filtering. There's a different set of options for sites and Office 365 groups, as well as OneDrives for Business and Exchange email boxes. But you're given many options to create these containers, so you can do whatever you need to in the solution. This video has been to show you how to use dynamic object registration to filter only the areas of Office 365 that you need for cloud backup. Thanks for watching.